In the heart of Southeast Asia, Thailand and Cambodia stand as neighbors, sharing a long and winding border and experiencing a remarkably similar tropical climate. Their shared history stretches back centuries, a tapestry woven with threads of cultural exchange, mutual influence, and at times, intense conflict. To the west lies Thailand, a land celebrated for its vibrant, bustling cities, magnificent golden temples that gleam in the tropical sun. And to the east, Cambodia, the proud home of the awe-inspiring ruins of Angkor, a testament to a once mighty empire. The stories of these two nations are deeply intertwined, shaped by the ambitions of powerful kings and queens, and immortalized in breathtaking monuments that continue to inspire wonder. But their shared past also includes a long and complex history of rivalry, marked by periods of both cooperation and conflict. To truly understand the intricate relationship between Thailand and Cambodia, we must journey back in time to an era before the establishment of modern borders, when the region was a diverse patchwork of kingdoms and principalities, each heavily influenced by the powerful civilizations of India and China. The Khmer people, the ancestors of modern-day Cambodians, rose to prominence, building powerful and influential states such as Funan and Chenla, laying the foundations for a great empire to come. Meanwhile, the Thai-speaking peoples, from whom the Thais are descended, began their migration southwards, gradually settling in the fertile river valleys of the region and establishing their own distinct communities and settlements. The early encounters between these emerging groups were often characterized by conflict and competition, as the newly arrived Thai challenged the established power and dominance of the Khmer. For centuries, the Khmer civilization reigned supreme, its influence spreading far and wide, but gradually the Thai principalities grew stronger and more assertive, setting the stage for a long-lasting rivalry that would shape the destiny of the region for a millennium to come. The fertile plains, abundant resources, and strategic trade routes that crisscrossed the region made it a highly coveted prize for ambitious empire builders and expansionist kingdoms, transforming it into a frequent battleground where control over land and resources was fiercely contested. The story of Thailand and Cambodia is, at its core, a compelling narrative of two nations locked in a centuries-long struggle to dominate this strategically important and resource-rich corner of the world. The Khmer Empire, with its heart centered at Angkor, experienced a golden age that radiated throughout Southeast Asia, leaving an indelible mark on the region. This era of prosperity and cultural flourishing spanned from the 9th to 15th centuries. Its god-kings, considered divine rulers, commissioned the construction of monumental temples like the magnificent Angkor Wat, serving as powerful symbols of both their spiritual authority and their far-reaching political power. The empire's influence and reach extended far beyond its immediate borders, encompassing territories that now constitute Thailand, Laos, and Vietnam, shaping the cultural and political landscape of the Mekong region. The Thai peoples inhabiting these regions were often under Khmer influence, adopting aspects of their culture and governance. However, over time, these Thai groups began to organize themselves, consolidating their power and forming independent kingdoms. This culminated in the 13th century with the founding of Sukhothai, a pivotal moment that marked the emergence of the first major and truly independent Thai state. This event marked a significant turning point. The Thais were no longer merely vassals, but formidable rivals to the Khmer Empire. The subsequent rise of Ayutthaya in 1351 further shifted the delicate balance of power in the region, as the ambitious new Siamese kingdom increasingly eyed the immense wealth and cultural prestige that Angkor possessed. Inevitably, conflict was brewing, fueled by disputes over territory, vital resources, and the desire for cultural dominance in the region. Siamese kings sought not just territorial expansion, but also the rich legacy and sophisticated culture that the Khmer civilization represented. Therefore, capturing Angkor became a potent symbol, representing the ultimate prize of inheriting the mantle of the region's greatest empire. This intense rivalry would inevitably spark a series of devastating wars, profoundly shaping the complex relations between these kingdoms for centuries to come. The 15th century marked a profound turning point, bringing unprecedented disaster for the once mighty Khmer Empire. The empire, which had stood for centuries, was now facing its most severe challenge. Ayutthaya, now a powerful and descendant Siamese kingdom, was rapidly expanding its influence and power in the region. They launched a series of full-scale invasions against Angkor, driven by territorial ambition and the desire for regional dominance. In 1431, after a prolonged and brutal siege that tested the limits of Angkor's defences, Angkor finally fell, its walls breached and its spirit broken. The city was ransacked, its treasures looted, and its invaluable artifacts plundered. Its people were taken captive, becoming prisoners of war or displaced from their homes. The Siamese systematically relocated thousands of Khmer artisans, craftsmen and scholars, recognizing their value. They were forcibly moved to Ayutthaya, the Siamese capital, absorbing and integrating Khmer culture, art and knowledge into their own society, enriching their kingdom. For Cambodia, the fall of Angkor represented a devastating loss, a profound cultural and political blow. This event triggered a long period of decline and instability, a dark age that would test the resilience of the Khmer people. The Khmer court, weakened and vulnerable, made the strategic decision to move its capital further from the dangerous Siamese border, seeking safety and security. However, despite their efforts, the Khmer kingdom never truly regained its former glory. Its power diminished and its influence curtailed. Cambodia found itself increasingly caught in the middle, becoming a pawn between the expanding power of Siam and the rising Vietnamese power to the east, each vying for control and influence in the region. The once magnificent temples of Angkor were gradually abandoned, left to the elements and the encroaching jungle. These haunting temple ruins stood as silent, overgrown reminders of a lost golden age, a testament to past grandeur. For Thailand, the victory at Angkor confirmed its position of regional dominance, solidifying its power and influence. But for Cambodia, the fall of Angkor was nothing short of a national trauma, a deep wound in the nation's psyche. The bitter memory of Angkor's fall fueled a deep-seated mistrust and resentment towards its Western neighbour. This historical event profoundly shaped the political landscape and had lasting consequences for generations to come. The psychological scars of 1431 lingered for centuries, a constant reminder of past humiliation and loss. It played a significant role in defining Cambodian identity and shaping its historical perspective, particularly in relation to its Western neighbour. The ensuing centuries would be marked by a constant struggle for survival and sovereignty as Cambodia fought to maintain its independence. This struggle would continue to haunt Cambodia for centuries, an enduring legacy of historical trauma and national resilience. Though, with Angkor subdued, Ayutthaya entered its golden age, dominating the region for centuries. Siam repeatedly invaded Cambodia, installing puppet rulers and extracting tribute, keeping Cambodia weak and divided. Meanwhile, Vietnam expanded southward, encroaching on Cambodian territory in the Mekong Delta. Cambodia was squeezed between two powerful neighbours, its politics torn by pro-Siamese and pro-Vietnamese factions. Siam annexed Cambodia's northwestern provinces, including Angkor's home, while Vietnam absorbed the Mekong Delta. Cambodia's territory shrank dramatically, and its independence was constantly threatened. Culturally, Siam initially absorbed Khmer traditions, but later claimed itself as the true heir to the region's heritage. For Cambodians, this era was about survival, struggling to maintain identity under foreign pressure. The long period of Siamese dominance and Cambodian vulnerability created deep narratives of power and victimhood. These stories would shape national identities and future relations. The scars of this era are still felt in both countries today. By the mid-19th century, Cambodia was nearly erased, caught between Siam and Vietnam. France arrived, seeking colonial influence, and offered Cambodia protection in exchange for control. In 1863, Cambodia became a French protectorate, fundamentally altering the regional balance. The French forced Siam to relinquish claims over Cambodia, ending centuries of invasions. Through treaties, Siam returned provinces like Battambang and Siem Reap, restoring Angkor to Cambodia. For Cambodians, this was a moment of pride. For Thais, a national humiliation. French rule came at the cost of independence, but also revived Khmer culture. French archaeologists restored Angkor, rekindling Cambodian national identity. The colonial era froze old conflicts, but left new legacies of pride and resentment. Cambodia's survival was secured, but its sovereignty was now in European hands. The stage was set for new challenges in the 20th century. The 20th century unleashed new forces of nationalism in both Thailand and Cambodia. After French withdrawal, Thai leaders promoted nationalism, sometimes reviving claims to lost territories. In Cambodia, independence brought precarious neutrality under Prince Sihanouk, but old grievances simmered. Border disputes and cultural sites became flashpoints for nationalist sentiment. The rise of the Khmer Rouge in the 1970s led to genocide and violent border clashes, with refugees flooding into Thailand. After Vietnam overthrew the Khmer Rouge, Thailand became a frontline state in a Cold War proxy conflict, hosting resistance groups along the border. For over a decade, the border was a militarized zone of guerrilla warfare and suffering. The legacy of these conflicts would haunt both nations for years to come. The Preah Vihear temple dispute remains the most explosive modern issue between Thailand and Cambodia. Built by the Khmer, the temple sits atop a cliff on the border, accessible mainly from Thailand. After independence, both nations claimed it, leading to a 1962 International Court of Justice ruling in Cambodia's favor. The decision was celebrated in Cambodia, but sparked outrage in Thailand. Tensions reignited in 2008 when Cambodia listed the temple as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, prompting protests and a military standoff. Armed clashes erupted between 2008 and 2011, causing casualties and damaging the ancient site. The conflict only eased after another court intervention, reaffirming Cambodia's sovereignty over the temple. The Preah Vihear dispute shows how historical grievances can quickly escalate into modern conflict. Even today, the temple remains a symbol of unresolved tensions. Centuries of conflict have left deep scars on both nations, politically, physically, and psychologically. The loss of life has been immense. From the fall of Angkor to modern border clashes, the Khmer Rouge era created a massive refugee crisis with camps along the Thai border. The border remains heavily mined, a deadly legacy that hinders development and endangers lives. In Cambodia, a narrative of victimhood and vulnerability persists. In Thailand, a sense of regional superiority lingers. These attitudes fuel mistrust and make reconciliation difficult. Even sports or rumors can reignite old rivalries. Healing these wounds is one of the greatest challenges for both peoples. Despite a painful past, the 21st century has seen efforts toward peace and cooperation. Both nations are ASEAN members committed to regional stability and economic growth. Thailand is a major trading partner and source of investment for Cambodia. Thousands of Cambodians work in Thailand, supporting families back home. Economic interdependence creates incentives for peaceful relations. Tourism and cultural exchanges are building new bridges, with Thais visiting Angkor and Cambodians traveling to Bangkok. Joint projects in health, education and the environment foster trust. Challenges remain. Border disputes and nationalist rhetoric can still flare up, but there's growing recognition that their futures are linked. In a connected world, cooperation is a necessity, not a choice. By focusing on shared interests and understanding, Thailand and Cambodia are slowly writing a new chapter, one of hope, not hostility.